Hello again, folks. Welcome to another edition of Between the Banks. I'm Bob Goosh, and I think I got a speckled trout on here coming up alongside the boat. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, is it a whiting? No, it's a speck. All right, stay tuned. I got thunder showers all around me, so I didn't venture out to the islands. I came to one of the spots where I know I can fish and catch trout, even if I'm not in outside waters. So I'm going to tell you all about that. A little safe haven spot on Between the Banks this week. Stay tuned. It's another Rock 'em Sock 'em edition of Between the Banks.
Between the Banks is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana.
What does it mean to be a Louisiana company? It means we all work where we live. It means the people we call our customers, we also call our neighbors, our friends, our family. It means we'll be here for the same people who've been here for us. We're the employees of Blue Cross, Louisiana true since 1934.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours, fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit lacajunbayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
Folks, everybody gets Between the Banks. Here's how easy it is. Go to your address bar, type in betweenthebanks.com, search, and here you are. The latest videos, services, and products provided by Between the Banks. Check it out, betweenthebanks.com. Everybody gets Between the Banks.
There it is, under the cork. Looks like a nice fish. There, check it out, coming up near the boat. See what it is. Oh, it is. It's a nice speck. Gotta grab the net. Speckled trout. Speckled trout. Things are improving. Okay, what I got here is just a regular kale hook. You can check it out. We'll take a close look at how I'm rigged here. So you can see I got a kale hook on my shock leader coming all the way up to a swivel with a Carolina rig 1/8 ounce. I'm just clipping my cork onto above the line here. Now the cork I picked up at Gagoo's. He's got the rattling orange. You can really see it good. And then the one on kale hooks, he's got that too. So there's a keeper speck under that cork, fishing on top of the oyster beds that I've got here. So I'm going to show you more about why I picked this spot and give you more details in just a second. There you go, fish for the box. Now, you know, a lot of people talk about the not being able to fish because people are putting up gates and stuff like that. But the South Texaco field is wide open to the public fishing. And that's why I fish here, and that's why I tape a lot of shows here. So you can come in here on top of these oyster beds and really see some wonderful sights. The water here is usually clean, and it's a really nice safe haven when you have thunder showers and you're running in and out, back in and out, back in and out. At least Boudreaux's is close enough to where I got waterfront motel, pull into my slip, get underneath the room and relax, and then when it stops raining, get back out there and do some fishing. So remember that porpoises come in on your spot, don't let it run you off. It's the sure sign that you got bait. And notice where that porpoise is, right there in that slick, big slick. He's chomping down. All right, looks like I got a red on here. I threw my she-dog out, it clouded up. We got a thunder shower that just missed us, and fish came up and hit the she-dog but missed it. Threw the Carolina rig out there at the back of the boat. Static line always having the water, and there it is right there. Check out that redfish. Get him in the net here. Not that big, but might be just the right size. Don't forget, speckled trout, you can have 25. Redfish, you can have 5. And they gotta be 16 inches, 1 over 27, and that's it, in your 5. So, let's see what this fish measures out to be. Cockahoe under a quart. Just a simple Comal cork. Boy, look, came up and hit it with a vengeance. There you go. All right, so gotta be 17 inches. Come over to the renovations measuring. So over 17, no, under 17. Check it out. Too close for comfort, folks. Going back in the water. Too close for comfort. But a nice rat and fun to reel in. There you go. All right, on a cockahoe with just a light split shot. I guarantee you, when you look at that split shot, I'll give you a close look. You look at that split shot. That's no bigger than a 1/32. It's really a small one. Just enough to keep the action on the bait. Keep that big goo-goo minnow swimming around and keeping it without getting snagged in the oysters, which is what the South Texaco field is famous for. Oyster beds, fishing on top of oysters. So that's why there's a lot of bait in here. You can get in here when you got thunder showers and you got to keep running back and forth and still get some good fishing in. So I'm going to bait back up, throw back out. But don't let me fool you now. You see what I got right here. I know you see what I got right here. That's the she-dog topwater line. My favorite color she-dog, that chrome blue, really does well with the speckled trout dots. So I got that here. Every time it clouds up, I was working that line when the redfish came up and hit the line and boated over. This is my static line I've got on the side of the boat that we're keeping an eye on. So that's what's going on. Stay tuned. I'm going to rebait. I think I got another red here, hitting the static line. No sooner than it was cast out, came up and hit the static line. Stay out the trolling motor. I hadn't even seen it yet. Oh, yeah, it's a red. Boy, I mean, these smaller reds have some spunk. You stick them and they light up. They want to fight. Check them out. Nice fish. Gotta put them in the net. There you go. Nice redfish. All right. I think I saw a mark on the other side of the fish where it'd been hit. Yep, sure do. I'll pull some line off here. There you go. See that mark under a fish, under the head? Right there. But it healed up fine. But it's a shame. You're gonna be mine. Let's see how big. Right at 22 inches. So a keeper for the box. Make a nice grilling rad. All right, we're hitting them at the spot. Right now, a cockahoe with a small weight is walking the dog, not the she-dog. Another red. Now I'm not even putting it in the rod holder. I'm staying with it, casting it out. Redfish always school up together. You can always catch a lot of them once you locate them. And they're hanging off of this shelf in the canal right before it reaches Dee's Pond. Check out the red. Right here on the side of the road. Nice fish. I mean, they are a blast to catch. A blast. But I always net them because they can be some rough boys. Okay, there you go. Nice redfish. Couple of spots on this side. And you can see, beautiful looking because the water's that Gulf green. Really pretty water that we're fishing. So, let's see. Take him off. Looks like he may measure. This one may be another for the box. Here we go. Boy, they've all been hooked. And you can see they really attacked that cockahoe. Look at that cockahoe. He's just smashed till you wouldn't believe. And that was a fresh bait. All right, this one, 17 plus inches. And you can see the tail. Look at the blue fluorescence. It's just beginning to show up. So, dodging the thunder showers, I missed that speckled trout bite of early morning. Right now it's about 20 minutes to 11 and the reds are turning on. So, in the box this one goes. When I come back, I'm going to show you the spot. Give you a good look at right where I'm fishing. Stay tuned. Alright folks, so let me show you the spot. What I did was I came into the South Texaco field, went by Redfish Point 1 and 2 and came into Dee's Canal. This big pond that you see behind me here is what's called Dee's Pond. I fish here through the years so much it isn't funny. And this water back here is usually bait filled. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to look right where the point meets the pond. If you follow that bank to the left, you'll see that there's all kind of bait, you know, breaking the surface all along that bank. That's just a shelf of oysters that drops into the middle of the canal, which is about 8.5 feet. So really good edges here in the South Texaco field. and especially at the mouth of the ponds. Now, this pond behind me here is about 2-3 feet deep, and it's ideal for throwing a sheepdog. But it's got irregular features. You can't go in there with your boat without knowing where to go, or you'll get stuck. So, and tear up your boat also. But just a great big pond goes all the way to the right. You can see, really picturesque, and not far off of Bayou Lafourche. So where we're catching the fish, I just showed you. I'm making a cast, trip my reel, and I'm throwing it out. I just broke off. A red hit it, brought me into the rocks, and cut the line on the oysters. So now I'm weightless. I'm just free swimming that big cockahoe. And if you look at me holding the rod here, you can see I'm holding the rod tip up. I hardly have any wind. It would be great to be at the islands right now, but I know better than to go fight Mother Nature with those thunder showers. So I'm just swimming that minnow along that drop-off edge where those oysters are, letting him do all the work. And that's when the reds are coming up and hitting it. Just keeping my rod tip up, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And they're just swimming that bait. That 1/0 tail hook is plenty light enough to let the minnow have action. Just let him swim, let him swim. And that's what I'm doing. I'm coming right up that ledge, swimming right on top of those oysters. And that's where the reds are hitting. But they're also out here too. Schools of finger mullet will start popping out there also. So I may get back while it looks like we got a little cloud action and maybe some more rain coming. Maybe get back to the top water and put this back in the holder. Stay tuned. Nice one here. Big one. Going out into the middle of the canal. Come on over here, folks. Come join me up here. Bigger red here. You can see how he's got the line bowed up here. All right, so while I'm fighting this fish, let's go check out the Marina Minute. All the fine businessmen in Leeville that make your fishing trip complete. Renovations, Griffins, Boudreaux's, great facilities in Lafourche Parish. I'm gonna try and keep this fish out the trolling motor. I'm gonna follow that with the map. See if I can get this redfish in. Got me in the trolling motor. It's a battle. Make sure you return. Here's the Marina Minute, followed by the map. Boudreaux's Waterfront Motel. Dock your boat at the end of the pier right under your room. Set up your grill. Got your own fish cleaning station, your own ramp. And for big groups, enjoy the sunset at the Boudreaux House. Boudreaux's in Leeville.
Griffin's Marina and Ice has bag, block, and blown ice for whatever size boat. Both dockside and roadside ethanol-free fuel, convenience store, breakfast, crispy chicken, all conveniently located in downtown Leeville.
Renovations is your complete marine center for sales, parts, and service. Pathfinder, War Eagle boats, Minn Kota Motor Guide trolling motors, Power Pole and Minn Kota anchoring systems, pumps, trailer parts. Renovations will keep you on the water. All right, folks, here's the map feature brought to you by the fine folks at Lawrence. You can see I'm anchored in 2.2 feet of water. I'm not chasing reds. I know where they are. They're coming to me. I've clouded with all the rain. My water temperature is down to 76.1 at the surface. And you can see I have a tide current, an incoming tide now at about 1/10 of a knot. It's just beginning to come in and pick up speed. We're filming the show in New Moon Week Sunday, the right before new moon. That week is when we're filming. New moon week in June. So you can see the oysters. I mean, check it out. A hard surface at the top all the way down. I mean, thick, thick oyster beds. I've got the power pole down and I've backed up to where I'm right over the oyster beds. And you can see the smaller fish. That's ladyfish, ribbon fish, whatever you want to call them. But you can also see the bull reds, not bulls, but regular redfish that are coming through there also. Only 2 specks, so not a lot of speckled trout activity despite the clouds and despite me throwing top water like crazy. Now let's get over to the map. So I'm gonna go pages. I'm gonna arrow over to map, enter. I can't wait to give you the GPS coordinates and all of that, because now I have my perfect vision. Perfect vision. So you can see where Boudreaux's Waterfront Motel is. We came out of Boudreaux's, came into the Southwest Canal, passed right in front of the fishing pier, came into Bayou Lafourche, and headed south. Right where the jackups are is where I entered the South Texaco field. Now I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to give you a lot of detail because it's important when you come in here to know where the oyster beds are. So I came in the entrance canal. You can see all the spots that I've got here where I've caught fish before. At Redfish Point 1, right at Redfish Point 2, came in, crossed right there, came through the little short canal with the cribbing, and came into Dee's Canal. This big long canal, which will actually take you to Bay Hackberry. You can see where that comes and meets the main canal, which I call Dee's Canal. So, great canal to know because you got all these canals that lead into the ponds and the marsh. It's really nice, and you've got this huge pond here with old canals that you can fish. Aluminum boat guys that can't go outside, you've got to know this. And from the Southwest Canal, I'm going to back out of this. Back out, because I'm going to show you just how big of an area you have to fish. So all of this area from Little Lake all the way down, this whole area all the way down by Bobby Lynn's Marina South, that's fishable water. Nobody's going to run you off in here. And even the north side too, with the exceptions of when you get up by Bayou Blue. So if you're having trouble with gated canals and stuff like that, the South Texaco field is just wonderful. All this orange that you see, that's all oyster demarcations. I mean, loaded with oysters in this area. So there's the map feature. I know I spent a lot of time on it, but real important. Map feature brought to you by the good folks at Lowrance. Oh, let me give you coordinates for right where the boat is here. Okay, so let's go. There's your coordinates. So since my vision is perfect, of course I'm going to save this. So let's go north 29 14 156, west 90 13 149. That's right at the post, that big pipe post that sticks out on the point of Dee's Pond, the very beginning. There's the map feature brought to you by Lowrance. Nice red. Spunky. I thought it was bigger. Thought it was bull red class. Well, folks, you've gotten a chance to see me get on some nice redfish. When the thunder showers ruin your time of going out to the going out to the islands, come in the South Texaco field. Nobody's gonna run you off in here. Explore these oyster beds and you will have a heck of a fishing trip. Even when you're surrounded by rain, showers. Alright, coming up, check them out. Finally got him wore out here. See if I can get him in here. Get over here, boy. Alright. Nice red. Nice red. Alright, one more red and I'm going to be limited out. It's amazing how the reds are stacking up right there where I showed you earlier. Right there, just throw out that static line. You can see, no weight at all. Free swimming, that cockle. Nice red. All right. I think that's the biggest one so far. Biggest one so far. Let's see how long. Put him up on the right at 20 inches. And look at the tail. See that fluorescent blue all along the tail right there? You know the reds are on. The high tide has ended, and now the water's going to start running out, and the redfish are going to just start feeding like crazy. Finally got him wore out here. See if I can get him in here. Get over here, boy. All right.
Speed.
Well, folks, there you have it. Another edition of Between the Banks. So, South Texaco Field, great place to go when you got thunder and lightning cracking around you. And you're close to Boudreaux's, close to the public boat launch, in case you got to get the boat out of the water or take cover. So, great fishing spot. Hopefully, next I'm going to be able to get back out there and see if the specks are at the islands during this new moon week, and I know they are, so it's come along. Now, don't forget lines that we used: free swimming cockle with swivel and a small 1/64 split shot, and then that with a cork on it, and then also cloudy days. Don't forget she-dog. She-dog, excellent topwater bait, especially when the water's rippled. You see the slicks, throw that in there, and you'll catch the trout with that. All right, we'll see you next week with another edition of Between the Banks. In the meantime, good luck fishing.